What do you mean her car isn't there? I was gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles had gone white, idling in front of the exact restaurant she had named, Maple and Vine, right off West 3rd Street in downtown Los Angeles. The neon sign flickered above the entrance. Couples walked in. A valet stood by the curb. But her car, her silver Lexus, wasn't anywhere in sight. I checked the message again. Dinner with Claire. Maple and Vine. Don't wait up. The glow of my phone lit up the empty passenger seat beside me. My chest felt hollow. Cold. Because I had just tracked her phone. And according to that blinking blue, she was inside. But her car wasn't. And that's when the valet leaned down toward my window and said something that made my stomach drop. She didn't come alone, sir. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. I didn't respond right away. I just stared at him. What do you mean? I finally asked. He shrugged casually. She came in about 20 minutes ago. Black SUV. Guy driving. They looked comfortable. Comfortable. That word echoed in my head like a gunshot. I nodded slowly, like it didn't mean anything. Like I was just another curious husband checking on his wife. But inside, something cracked. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just a quiet fracture. That's when I realized something was wrong. No, worse than wrong. It had already happened. Her name is Emily. We'd been married for 8 years. No kids. Good jobs. Nice house in Sherman Oaks. The kind of life people look at and assume is stable. She worked in marketing for a mid-sized firm downtown. Late meetings, client dinners, occasional travel. I trusted her. Completely. Or at least, I used to. Because about 3 months before that night, something shifted. It was small at first. She started locking her phone. Not casually, deliberately. Angle tilts. Screen dimming. That subtle body language people don't realize they're doing when they're hiding something. I noticed. I just didn't want to believe it. Work's been crazy, she said one night, slipping off her heels and heading straight for the shower. You've said that every night this week, I replied. She laughed. Too quick. Too light. Welcome to Q4. I nodded. But I watched her. And that's when the unease began. A week later, I saw the first real crack. We were sitting on the couch. She had fallen asleep with her phone in her hand. Screen still glowing faintly. I wasn't snooping. I swear to God, I wasn't. But then a message popped up. Miss you already. Tonight was worth the wait. No name. Just a number. My heart didn't race. It slowed. Like everything inside me was preparing for something it didn't want to face. I didn't unlock the phone. I didn't scroll. I just stared at that message. Then I put the phone back in her hand and pretended I hadn't seen anything. That was my mistake. The next morning, I asked casually, how was dinner with Claire last night? She didn't hesitate. Good. Same old gossip. Where'd you go? Just someplace downtown. I don't remember the name. She didn't even blink. That's when the denial started to crumble. From that point on, I began to watch more carefully. Patterns. Timing. Her stories. Everything started feeling rehearsed. Too clean. Too perfect. Like she was reading from a script she had practiced 100 times. And then came the manipulation. You're acting weird lately, she said one night, crossing her arms. I could say the same about you. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Defensive. Excuse me. You've been distant. Secretive. She scoffed. Wow. So now I'm not allowed to have a demanding job without being accused of something. There it was. Flip the narrative. Make me the problem. I backed off. Because part of me still wanted to believe her. But another part was already waking up. The emotional collapse didn't happen all at once. It came in waves. Quiet ones. Sitting alone in the living room after she went to bed. Staring at nothing. Replaying conversations. Noticing things I had ignored before. Late night client calls. Extra time getting ready. Perfume. On nights she claimed were just casual dinners. Each detail stacked on top of the last. Until the truth became too heavy to ignore. That's when I made a decision. I stopped asking questions. I stopped reacting. I became silent. And that silence changed everything. She noticed. Of course she did. Are you okay? She asked one morning. I nodded. Just tired. She studied me for a moment. Like she was trying to read something. But I had already started pulling away. Emotionally. Mentally. Strategically. I installed a GPS tracker on her car 2 days later. Not proud of it. But I needed to know. I needed proof. Because suspicion without evidence is just torture. and I was done torturing myself. For a week, nothing unusual happened. Work, home, occasional dinners. Everything looked normal, almost convincing. Until Friday. She kissed me goodbye that morning. "Dinner with Claire tonight," she said. "Maple and Vine." I smiled. "Have fun." But the moment she left, I opened the app and waited. At 7:12 p.m., her location moved. Not toward Maple and Vine, but to a residential address in West Hollywood. She stayed there for 43 minutes. Then the dot moved again, this time to the restaurant she had mentioned. That's when I grabbed my keys. And that's how I ended up sitting outside Maple and Vine. Her phone inside, her car nowhere, and a valet telling me she didn't arrive alone. I didn't storm in. I didn't confront her. Because in that moment, something inside me shifted. Completely. The hurt didn't disappear, but it hardened, turned into something colder, more precise. This wasn't about catching her anymore. This was about ending it correctly. I drove home, slowly, thinking, planning, because if she was going to lie to my face, then I was going to make sure the truth destroyed her life piece by piece. Legally, financially, completely. Over the next 2 weeks, I gathered everything. GPS logs, phone records, security footage from a neighbor near that West Hollywood address. Turns out, the house belonged to her boss. Married, 2 kids. Of course. I hired a private investigator. Quiet, professional. Within days, I had photos. Them together, entering hotels, kissing in parking garages, laughing, careless, like they thought they were untouchable. That's when the final piece clicked into place. The trap. I contacted his wife first. Not emotionally, not angrily, just factually. We met at a coffee shop on Sunset Boulevard. I handed her a folder. She opened it, flipped through the photos, didn't say a word, just closed it slowly. "Thank you," she said. Her voice was steady, but her eyes, they told the real story. Then I filed for divorce. No warning, no discussion, just papers, served at her office, in front of everyone. She called me immediately. "What is this?" she demanded. I stayed calm. "It's exactly what it looks like. You're overreacting. I know about him." Silence. Heavy. Crushing. "You've been lying for months," I continued. "I have everything." Her tone changed instantly. Soft. Pleading. "Please, we can talk about this. There's nothing left to talk about." And I hung up. But I wasn't done. Not even close. Her company had a strict policy. No relationships between executives and subordinates. Especially not affairs. Especially not when it involved deception and misuse of company time. I sent the evidence. Anonymously. Within a week, he was terminated. Publicly. Quietly devastating. She wasn't fired. But she was reassigned. Demoted. Humiliated. Everyone knew. No one said it out loud. But the looks, they said enough. The divorce was swift. Clean. Because I had the leverage. The evidence. She didn't fight. She couldn't. The last time I saw her was in the courtroom hallway. She looked smaller. Not physically. Just diminished. "Was it worth it?" I asked. She didn't answer. Just looked down. I walked away. Didn't look back. A few months later, I drove past Maple and Vine again. Same neon sign. Same valet stand. Same entrance. But everything felt different. Quieter. Colder. Because that place, that night, that missing car, it wasn't where I lost my marriage. It was where I found the truth. And once you see it, you can't ever unsee it. The end.